Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Betting Bros. Today, we're going to be talking about NBA free agency moves. I'm here with Jesse, Ben, and Neil. Jesse, what team do you think is going to be impacted the most off of free agency?
A big winner I have this free agency is the Oklahoma City Thunder. 2 years ago, I praised their number 2 and 12 overall picks, who have later turned out to be Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Sam Presti delivers year after year, and I think this year that trend continues. They had 3 key weaknesses last year, and I think they addressed all of them. Number 1 and 2, they were lacking rebounding and another paint presence. Because outside of Chet Holmgren, they had no players above 6'11". But with adding Isaiah Hartenstein on a 3-year, I believe $85 million contract, that's going to fill a gap bigly. Additionally, they added another vet in Alex Caruso, who's going to provide great defense alongside Lou Dort. Plus, Nikola Topic, selected at number 12 overall in this year's draft, and all the draft capital they have to work maybe potentially other trades, I think that they could be a serious contender next year. What about you, Ben?
Me personally, I think the 76ers came up big when they signed Paul George. For years, Embiid has been looking for a guy to play next to him, and Paul George has a defense, he has an offense. He's not too old to the point where he's washed. I think he can be a great presence on that offense and defense. What about you, Neil?
I think the Bulls made a good trade. They gave away Caruso, who's getting old, and if they were going to go into a rebuild, I think that they needed to get rid of the old people they had and just start to get some fresh, new, young players. And when they got Josh Giddey, I mean, he's a playmaker. He's young, and he knows what to do in situations. I mean, he's had enough experience, but he's not fresh out the mud. And then they also made a pick, Matas Buzelis, with the number 11 pick, and he's also a playmaker. So I think now that they have playmakers, they can get a few experienced players, and then they'll have a nice core. I think they'll be able to push for the playoffs.
Asher?
I feel that the Mavericks made a really good choice signing Klay Thompson. Although he went 0-10 in an elimination game, I feel that he can be a really good shooter still. And he didn't really have much time to recover from his injury, so he'll have this full offseason to do that. And I feel like he'll fit really well in the Mavericks, as they just missed one piece to win an NBA Finals because they were super close. But they didn't really have a shooter who could really just make any shot from the corner. And I feel like Klay is that guy.
All right, we're going to take calls. We have Billy on the line here. Billy, do you have a question for us?
Yes, I do. So I heard the discussion earlier about how the Bulls are rebuilding. My question for you guys is obviously they're going into the playoffs this year. So I just want to know if you guys think it was necessary to get rid of some of that experienced talent and bring in some guys to try and change it up.
All right, so it sounds like the question was, did the Bulls have a good offseason, and is it going to help them in the future?
Yes.
Listen, I think that they had a strong team, but having a mediocre season every year just doesn't work out. If you need to rebuild and be a bad team for a couple of seasons so you can get back to a point where you're a contender for championships and pushing for playoffs, I think it was a smart move. I think you've got to get a young core. You've got to restart sometimes if things aren't working out. Everyone wants to chase a championship, and you can't get a championship without a young core.
I disagree with that. I feel the Bulls really were already in a restarting phase, as they really didn't have that much talent besides from like DeMar DeRozan. And it's pretty much all old players. DeMar got signed by the Kings. So I just feel like, and they lost talent like Caruso on defense, so I just feel like it was not the smartest move.
Listen, old players can't win championships. You need young players who are new to the league.
Iguodala.
Yeah. The Curry's 2023, I think it was.
Yeah, Curry won an NBA
Those are
championship
different
just
players.
carrying the Warriors himself.
So you're saying DeRozan's like Curry?
He could be.
At the
He
same
could
age
be.
he's
But
at now.
the thing is with the Bulls, they were already a bad team before. They're a play-in caliber team, and that is it. They don't need to start rebuilding. They need to start adding key pieces, and they lost their best player.
But you can tell that they
could've
have
traded
no
him.
championship caliber. They have no championship caliber.
That's what we're saying, yeah.
Okay, that's the end of today's show. And today's show was sponsored by Major League Wiffle Ball. Catch a game this summer at a stadium near you. Thanks for watching. This was the big Betting Bros Sports Cast.